Hey everyone, it's Thursday morning, September 19th, and welcome to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to give you a quick rundown of yesterday's market action. Let's dive in. Just a quick reminder, today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt, your leading provider for individual investment solutions and mutual funds. Visit amf-capital.de for more information. Well, the big news yesterday was all about the Federal Reserve. After much anticipation, the Fed cut interest rates by 0.5%, its first rate reduction since 2020. Now, you'd think a major move like that would light a fire under the markets, right? Well, not exactly. Stocks initially rallied after the announcement, but those gains were short-lived. By the end of the day, the Standard & Poor's 500 and the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite were both down about 0.3%, while the Dow slipped around 0.25%. So, not a total meltdown, but definitely a lukewarm response to what was a significant policy shift. So, why the mixed reaction? Well, it wasn't just the rate cut itself, though that was a big deal, but also the Fed's Summary of Economic Projections, or SEP. The projections showed that most Fed officials expect rates to be cut by a full 100 basis points by the end of this year. That's a pretty aggressive outlook, and investors had to digest that info. In the days leading up to the meeting, there was a lot of debate about whether the Fed would go big with a 0.5% cut or stick with the more traditional 0.25%. In fact, just last week, there was only about a 15% chance of the larger cut happening. But by yesterday morning, that number had shot up to over 60% as traders began betting on the Fed going large. And sure enough, the Fed delivered with the half-point cut. But even though it was widely expected, the market response was a bit more cautious, as investors are still trying to figure out what this means for the economy moving forward. Has the Fed managed to cool inflation without derailing the economy? That's the big question. All right, that's all for today's Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with all the latest market updates. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.